What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I've tested out the wizard job class in the Ragnarok game, which leads to the sponsor of this video. Do you want to stay online 24/7 in this game, but don't want to use your phone or you don't have a computer to do it? UgPhone has got you covered. UgPhone is a cloud emulator that is perfect for AFK grinding. It is a cloud phone that runs independently in the cloud without consuming the memory or battery of your physical device. Even if you close the UgPhone app, your game will still continue to run in the cloud, which makes this the perfect app for AFK grinding for 24 hours, 7 days a week non-stop. You can also run multiple instances of UgPhone in one account, which allows you to play multiple games or accounts simultaneously. UgPhone is available in Google Play for Android, App Store for iOS, Windows Store for PC, and you can also use a web browser to run UgPhone. If you want to try out UgPhone, you can use my link shown in the description below. Note that when you are playing in the Southeast Asian region, make sure to select the Singapore servers. You can also use my invitation code, which gives you an extra 488 diamonds from UgPhone that you can use to extend your time in using the device. 12 diamonds is equal to an hour of an extension, so the 488 diamonds is an additional 40 hours in using the UgPhone cloud device. So thank you guys, and thank you UgPhone for the sponsor. Now let's get back to the video. To give you a brief background on what the wizard job does in the game, this is a class that specializes in using different elements in the game, such as fire, wind, water, and earth. On top of that, a wizard has a lot of AoE skills that can control a number of enemies all at the same time, which makes this class very deadly in both PvE and PvP. But those are not the only advantages in playing a wizard in this game, because this class also has an advantage in range, which plays a big factor when farming monsters and fighting players. As I've mentioned earlier, the wizard is also a master of all the elements, as they can use fire, wind, water, and earth skills. This is a huge factor especially in PvE, as you can easily counter the element of the monsters that you are hunting. And last but certainly not the least, a wizard doesn't have a size penalty in the game. What do I mean by that? If you are new to the game, there are 3 types of size of monsters in the game. You have the small, medium, and large monsters. Each weapon that you wield in this game has a perfect size modifier and a size penalty. For example, if a knight is using a one-handed sword, it has a perfect size modifier on medium-sized monsters. This is at 100%, while that one-handed sword has a penalty on small and large monsters as it can only deal damage at 75%. However, in the case of the wizard, magic attacks doesn't really have any size penalty in this game. Whether you fight a small, medium, or large monster, you will still deal 100% damage on all of them. Now that is a huge advantage when it comes to the size modifiers in this game. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know it yet, the players in this game are considered as medium in size. Now that I've given you a brief background on the wizard job class, let's talk about my experience in playing this class in the Ragnarok game. If you've watched my previous video about this game, you might have heard that this has a skill-based meta, meaning in the early and mid stages of the game, spamming skills that can one-hit monsters is the most efficient way in leveling up and farming in the game, which really bodes well for a wizard, because this class is not really known for using normal attacks. This class is heavily reliant on its skills in order to farm and fight monsters in the game. Now, if you are a beginner in this game, or you want to try out the wizard job class, the best skill that you should use in the early game is the Soul Strike skill. Similar to the bash skill of a knight, the Soul Strike is a spammable skill that you can use to eliminate monsters at a faster rate. Unfortunately, this skill will be your best friend from the start of your wizardry journey up until the mid to late stages in the game. This is because if you don't have the right equipment, cards, and stats, it will be hard for you to start using the other skills, especially the skills with an area of effect. The reason for this is because these skills have a very long casting time before you can hit the target. This is very important because the faster you activate your skills, the higher the chance that you can eliminate the target. In PvE, if you have a slow casting time, other players can steal the monster that you are targeting. In PvP, the player that you are targeting might be able to eliminate you first before you can even cast your skills. That is why it is important to have the right equipment, cards, and stats when building a wizard. Speaking of the cast time, you can lower this by using the right stat for your wizard. In the early game, there are two important stats for a wizard: the int stat, which increases your magic damage, and the dex stat, which reduces the amount of casting time for your skills. So you need to have a perfect balance for these two stats in order to have a decent amount of damage while also being able to cast your skills at a faster rate. Players might get confused sometimes, but there's a difference between the casting time and the cooldown time of a skill. The cooldown time is the amount of time needed when you can activate the skill again after use, while the casting time is the amount of time needed by the wizard to use the skill on a target. In this game, the dex stat can only reduce the casting time, and not the cooldown time. This might confuse players, because I'm pretty sure in other Ragnarok games, especially in the modern IPs, the dex stat is also used to reduce the skill's cooldown time. However, in this game, you can only reduce or lessen the skill's casting time. Here is an example. So what you are looking at is the casting time when I am using a dex card in my accessory. Now, this is the casting time after I remove the dex card in my equipment. See the difference? So being able to add more dex in your build allows you to cast skills a lot faster. I was planning to use the classic Frost Drive and JT combo, however, the cooldown time for the Frost Drive in this game is 30 seconds, which is a very long time, which makes the classic combo not really viable in this game. In my opinion, in the early stages of this game, it's better to pump out your instat as you need to have a decent amount of damage to one-hit monsters. Then you can compensate for the dex stat in the cards that you slot in your equipment. Remember, in this game, cards are so easy to get, so collecting cards won't really be a problem for the players. Also take advantage of the card synthesis mechanic, because by increasing the stars of your cards, you are also increasing the stats that it provides. As you can see, I've already increased the stars of my dex cards in order to get more dex stat. Just spam the crap out of the Soul Strike skill in order to be more efficient in this game. Again, in the early to mid stages, you really have to stick with the best skill possible for your class. In this case, it is the Soul Strike skill, which is similar to the bash build of a knight. When it comes to the equipment, it's actually very simple. Just get the red equipment for your class. For the accessories, the Frost Drive and Water Ball equipments are not really necessary as it only adds levels to your skills. The best one out of the 3 red accessories that you can get from the Endless Tower shop is the Earth Spike accessory, as it can add 50% more damage to that skill. I even saw this in the comment section of my knight video. The user was asking if the Earth Spike accessory adds more damage to the skill. The answer to that is yes. Watch this clip where I tested this out in the Endless Tower. The Earth Spike skill would have been a really viable skill if not for the long cooldown time. It takes 8 seconds before you can use that skill again, which is a letdown considering that it can deal a huge amount of damage. Another thing that I really hate about this skill is the description, as it is quite misleading. If we read the skill description, it causes the very earth at the feet to rise abruptly, dealing damage to the enemies in the area. From that description alone, you can already tell that this skill should be an AoE, meaning it can hit multiple enemies at once. However, upon testing this out in the game, it can only hit one target at a time, which is very annoying. But anyway, to answer the question about the Earth Spike accessory, yes, it increases your damage by a wide margin. Overall, the Wizard is a great class to play. You just need to be patient when it comes to building this character, as you need to have the right set of cards and proper stat allocation in order to make the skills work. The skills are not really hard to understand, and you just have to learn the elemental counters in the game. And that's it for my Wizard review. Let me know your thoughts on the Wizard job class in the comment section below. I am planning to play an assassin next and give my honest thoughts about that job class. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more the Ragnarok content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. GG!
You're a superhero.